Yo, what's going on? It is 1 p.m. here in Crystal Lake, Illinois. It means it's time for another live stream. Today is Thursday, April 4th. Is that right? Did I get the date wrong? It's April 4th, 2024. And for everyone who couldn't find the way to join the live stream until just a minute ago, that's on me. I forgot to make it until about a minute ago because it's just one of those days. It's definitely one of those days where mind is a little bit foggy, body's feeling a little bit groggy. And I'm just trying to make sure that all the spinning plates don't come crashing down. But so far, so good. Today on the show, I think I know what this is, but I have a mystery box. And it came from a shipping department in Columbus, Ohio. So, yeah, that doesn't give any clues as to what it is. It kind of feels like I think it's two shoe boxes wrapped and taped together. I think that's what it is. But we'll get to that soon, and we'll have some spreadsheet madness, of course, if these are, in fact, shoes. But first, let's say hi to everyone listening on the podcast on the audio-only version. Hopefully you're having a good run out there today. It was snowing again today. I thought it was just supposed to be light rain, but we got a lot of snow. None of it stuck, though. Yesterday, a lot of it stuck to the ground. Today, none of it stuck to the ground, but it was just a lot of snow on my run today. And I thought it was fine. But then by the time I got done with my run, I was like, oh, I'm tired. I'm really, really tired. So yeah, so that's what's going on. So hopefully you are having a better day than I did, and it's not snowy where you are. By the way, what day is the marathon? The 15th, Boston Marathon? Is that when it is? Are we 10 days out yet? Is the weather forecast showing us what the weather's going to be like in Boston? I don't know. But if you are watching this later but not live, this is the number one place to see very long-term forecasts about the weather for your next upcoming race. So, all right. It looks like from the chat that it's 11 days out. Leona's here. She says it's 11 days out from the marathon. All right. So tomorrow, for Friday, we'll start looking at the weather. Until then, I'm not going to worry about it. But you know what? I guess I could tell you where I'm going. I have 3 trips back to back to back that I'm going on. So I have to pack a lot of stuff. And I was just thinking, like, I have to figure out what the weather is going to be like in this third place. And that's going to be like 3 weeks from now. But I got to start packing. So first I'm going to Boston. Then from Boston, I'm going straight to London. Then from London, I'm going to Germany. I'm going to go to watch Road to Records at the Adidas headquarters. So all those things are kind of, and I think a lot of people are going to Road to Records as well. I've already forgotten who all is going. Some people have been messaging me like, "Hey, are you by any chance going to Germany after London?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am." So there'll be a lot of friends there. There's also gonna be a lot of friends in London too, so I'm really excited for that. So we'll have a lot of fun stuff coming up. But again, going back to the weather, what kind of clothes do I pack for Germany in the spring? Like April 23rd or 24th. I think 26th and 27th are the main days. Like, what do I even pack? I don't even know. I'm not sure. So, yeah. Mark Peterson says that the weather looks good for Boston. He's jealous. Ooh, the weather was not good for Boston last year. It was pretty chilly. Well, there was one day it was really nice. And then race day was cold, a little too cold, and it was raining hard. So, yeah. All right. Jose Naveo says, "Hey, everyone, just found out my marathon, the cheap marathon, got postponed from this Saturday, the 6th, to 2 weeks later on the 20th. I have to come out at taper now." What? That's weird. How does that happen? Strange. Fiona says, Kofuzi Run Testers Club has to happen. So I was just thinking about it. So I'm going to get to London like on Wednesday. And initially I was thinking, well, maybe I can hop on a train because I love trains. Maybe I can hop on a train, go around England for a little bit, and then come back by Saturday. But it is going to be a PR attempt for me on Sunday. So I'm thinking maybe I'll just stay in London, use those days to make sure I'm getting as much B-roll as I can, getting around the city to do that. And then also I should just try and meet up and do little mini collabs with as many London creators as I can. So that's what I think I'm going to do. And so I need to sit down and be like, all right, here's what time I have. Here's who's around. Some people got to work during the day, like 40 mentioned, like he works during the day, but he might be coming to the expo on Wednesday. which seems really early, but I feel like UK runners like a good expo. So I feel like that's probably why it starts on Wednesday. Maybe I'll go on to the expo on Wednesday. So I'm thinking about stuff like that. You know, we're trying to get it planned. All right. Grant Reese says an update on the rabbit shoe, $160. eTPO foam midsole blue maca insole. I think the blue maca is like a algae based material, if I remember off the top of my head correctly. 32 millimeter stack, 5 millimeter drop, and 8.5 to 9 ounces. Interesting. I think the men's is a little bit heavier than that, I want to say. There is also like little torsion bars on the bottom too. I think those are made out of, they might be carbon fiber, but there's a little something on the bottom too. So yeah, should be interesting. I reached out to Kevin. He sent me a pair. So I'm hoping to, I don't know if I'll have time to test it before I leave, because I think I leave for Boston Thursday. Yeah. But he sent them out today. So maybe I'll be able to test them out before, maybe I'll be able to get a reel out for you guys before Boston. Once I get to Boston, just to give you guys a little bit peek behind the curtain, once I get to Boston, since I am going with Adidas, my ability to wear non-Adidas shoes will be limited once I get to Boston. So there's that. Mika says that it was 28 degrees in Germany yesterday. How many is that in Fahrenheit? I think if it's 0 is 32, and then every 5 is 9. So it's like 5. So that's 45 and a little bit. 45 plus 32, 77. So it was like 80 degrees. It was 80 degrees in Germany yesterday. No way. Is Germany small enough that you could say it was 82 in Germany and that applies to the whole country? Or I thought Germany was bigger than that. Does it depend on where you are in Germany? Okay. Mika says apparently it was forecast to be more than 28 degrees Celsius in Germany in a few days. It wasn't yet. Okay. All right. Matt Byer says hopefully we'll get an indication on when the Adizero SL2 and the Adios 9 will be released at Road to Records. Yeah, I don't know how much shoe stuff is going to happen at Road to Records. I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of Evo 1s. And I feel like we'll see a lot of Takumi Sens. Will we see any Adios? I'm not sure. I'm sure we'll see also more Adios Pro 2s, but I'm not sure. We'll see. This is my first time going to Road to Records. I think they've done it. This will be the third time they've done it. So I'm really excited to check it out. I don't know. So I went to Adidas one time before, and they put me up in a hotel in Nuremberg, which is a short drive from Herzogenaurach, which is where the headquarters actually is. I'm guessing I'll still have a similar setup, but on the Adidas campus, there is like basically dorms or like their own Airbnbs. And whenever they have like visiting teams or visiting athletes, they usually put them up there. And I'm guessing for Road to Records, they're going to have athletes there and not dudes like me. But yeah. Running Shoes World, he's local, so he'll and I have confirmed with him that he'll be there. So hopefully we'll be able to, maybe we'll go explore Nuremberg together, run around the city walls again. You know. All right, let's see. Calvin says that. All right, here's how you gotta find. Here's how I gotta find. Aubrey, Run Testers, Ben is running 40, Ben Parks, Philly, Tim Gross, and Ed Bud, assuming the non-London creators make the trip. Yeah, I don't know if Philly's coming down. I had told Daniel earlier, because earlier my plan was to go from Boston to like Scotland and work my way south. And I was like, Manchester will be on the itinerary, but then that trip didn't end up happening. I don't know if they have plans to come down. Hopefully they do. You know, so I don't know. And I know Andy's running it. Is Ed Bud running it? I don't know. I don't think Yeovil is that close to London. Maybe for like American standards, but in British standards, maybe not. I don't know. Hopefully he'll be down there. All right, let me scroll down and catch up with you guys. Dudes, when I said dudes like me, Frank says Co is a dude and not an athlete. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I'm an athlete in the sense of like we're runners, we're all athletes, but I'm not an athlete in the sense that like the dorms that exist on the Adidas campus are reserved for athletes first, you know, and I think that by that it means sponsor athletes. Although I did see there was another event at headquarters a couple weeks ago, or maybe a couple months ago, where they brought a bunch of influencers in and they got to stay in the dorms. And I was like, I never got to stay in the dorms. I don't know. Let's see. Sean says, I'm not a dude, I'm a broski. All right. All right. And Green Beh says, you know, Germany is big. So if it's 28 degrees, doesn't mean that the whole country is 28 degrees. Green says it was 14 degrees Celsius where I live in northern Germany. There we go. See, that's what I thought. But I'm trying to remember. Nuremberg is not in the northern part of the country, is it? I can't. My geography is so bad. I don't recall it being in northern Germany. But I'm sure most of you guys already know that. Grant Reese says, I got a road 5K coming up. Should I use my Alpha Fly 2s or Takumi Sen 10s? I go with Takumi Sens for a 5K. I don't think that the Alpha Fly 2 is wrong, but the Takumi Sen is definitely right. It'll be fun. You'll have fun either way. I don't overthink it, whichever you feel faster. And, you know, I feel like that's going to be my new kind of saying, is just don't overthink it. Both are going to be great options. Ed Bud is here. He says, yo, what's going on? Ed, are you coming into London for the marathon? Are you running the marathon this year or no? Are you going to be around? As long as I got you here. All right. And Ed Bud also agrees. Use a Takumi Sen for the 5K. So yeah, I think so. All right. Patrick Odedina says, shoe complaint. I'm a tall guy and wear a men's 14. I think I know where this is going. ASICS only makes their plated shoes up to a 13. Can you talk to your people and tell them I'll buy their Meta Speed Series every year? Yeah, I don't know why. They always stop at 13. But like FOD Runner, he wears a 14 as well. And Patrick Odedina wears a size 14. You're not the only one. I know more size 14s than I know 13s, but maybe because all the 14s are like, hey, how come there's no size 14s ASICS shoes? There's ASICS shoes, just not super shoes. They don't make the plated ones. So maybe it's that I hear about the size 14 people, but I know more size 14 people than I know size 13, it seems. And Patrick Smith says, don't overthink it is solid advice. Raced a 10K while in Texas for work and was 4th overall in Super Blast because that's all I had. There you go. Nice. Yeah, I like don't overthinking it. I definitely overthink it. I mean, this whole channel is based on the concept of overthinking it, really. So I'm not going to, certainly I won't be mad at anyone for overthinking things because I certainly overthink things, but yeah. All right, and Green Best says, you know what? Nuremberg is in the deep south. In Bayern, Germany's Texas. Is it really like Germany's Texas? More than just geographically? Interesting. Zion Pixel says, running in Berlin half this Sunday, expected maximum temperature of 77 Fahrenheit. That's steamy. That's too hot. That's way too hot. That's too hot. Man, I didn't know Berlin got that hot. Maybe it's just a weird temperature heat wave. I don't know. All right. Ed Bud says, I'm not running it myself, but my daughter's stepfather is running for charity. Nice. Nice. There you go. Okay. Let's see. Shrikalyan P says, yo, what's going on, Michael? Shoe question. Is there a new Super Blast on the horizon this year? I think so. I haven't seen it. I might have seen it. I don't recall if I've seen it. A lot of times, here's what happens. someone will say, hey, you can't share this yet, but let me show you this picture I got on my phone. And it'll be like a brand person will do that. And they'll be like, check this out. And they'll show me a shoe. And I'm like, oh, what's that? And like, they're like, here's what it is, but you can't talk about it until later. We'll send you a shoe and stuff, you know? And I'm like, okay. And then once they say like, you can't talk about it yet, my mind shuts off. Cause I got too much that I got juggling in my mind here. So I may have seen a Super Blast 2. I'm not sure that I did. I always appreciate it when people show me shoes, but I just, if it's very far out, it's not that I'm not interested. I just can't retain it. You know? Frank Lahulier says Saxony is closer to Germany's Texas. Is it? Oh, okay. My wife today brought home lunch and she got me a kombucha, raspberry lemonade kombucha. I do like this brand. Remember when I did a bunch of taste tests of these one day? You can get them everywhere now. Is this the Australian brand? Yeah. This kombucha comes all the way from Australia. It feels like a really long way to go. But it is a pretty good kombucha. Ed Bud says he believes that the Super Blast should be out later in the year. Hope they plugged up the holes. Did the holes give you problems? They never gave me any problems. I think that maybe I've had like a little tiny pebble in there, but I didn't get any big problems from it. Eliza wants to know, do they show you the pics in a dark alley? No, it's usually over beers. It's at boozy time. That's usually where it comes up. They'll be like, yeah, and then later this year we're going to have the something, and they'll be like, oh, I got a picture of it. You want to see it? And I'm like, yeah. And so then it'll like be beer time, and I'm like, when does it come out? And they're like 9 months from now. I'm like, oh, okay. Let me see. You know, so that's kind of how it goes. I am interested, but I just always forget. Louis says he definitely saw it at Only Shoes. Yeah. All right. James says box. All right. You guys want to see the box? Let's get to it. I think this might be a double yolker this time, because I think there's 2 boxes in here. I think I know what it is. And if you guys can think about a brand that's been sending 2 pairs of shoes, 2 different shoes to lots of people at the same time, that's the one that I'm thinking that it is too. But hopefully I'm not cutting something as I'm trying to open this package. You know? I don't know which one to open first. Someone spent a lot of time on this. It is shoes, and it is shoes from Mount to Coast. This is a brand that I became aware of last November at TRE. They had a booth that happened to be right across from where PR Project was doing their live stream. And so they had to listen to the entire PR Project live stream because they were like right next door and there was giant speakers. So, you know what? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get both of them out. This first one is, style is S1. It's the Mount to Coast S1. I'm guessing this one's going to be S2, maybe. I don't remember what their names of their shoes were. Oh boy. It's so much work. No, it's not. It's not the S2. The other one was the S1. And if I can ever get it out of the packaging, I'll show you what this one is. And this one is the style is R1 Engineer Mesh. Color white, size 9 men. Outlet, Kofuzi, YouTuber/reviewer. All right, where should we go first? R1 or S1? What do you guys think? R1 or S1? All right. Any requests? All right. Diego Tanaka says R1. Sleeve Singer says R1. Let's go with R1. There's a note in here. Oh boy, there's a lot of words. Okay, the R1 has an 8mm heel drop. S1 has a 10mm heel drop. Okay. All right. Gives me a lot of information about this. We'll read that more, but for the unboxing purposes, I think this is the Racer. R stands for Racing. R1, Mount to Coast. It's pretty, and it feels lightweight. Now, if I remember correctly, what's going on the bottom here is they are trying to stabilize this shoe, especially for if you're going to be wearing this shoe for a very long time. So it's meant for like road ultras. And the idea is that it's going to stabilize you for those later hours in the race. Now, here's what's unusual. And I don't know that I noticed this the first time around, or maybe it's different. But there's two sets of laces on this guy. So there's speed laces that go for the front half, and then regular laces for the top half. And they're calling it their tuned fit. There's notes about it in here. It says dynamic fitting in the shoe upper. We discovered that the feet of ultramarathon runners tend to swell to varying degrees after long distance running. R1 features a spacious forefoot area. We designed a 2-section lacing system that allows runners to independently adjust the fitting around the forefoot and midfoot. All right. And the R1 is their first product. Specifically designed for ultra-distance endurance events and focuses on 2 key issues. The second is the dynamic fit, and the first is anti-degradation performance of the midsole. So you're supposed to be able to have a more consistent response from this shoe from beginning to end. They worked with BASF to develop innovative shock-absorbing material, zero sag. I don't. That just sounds funny. It's originally used in race cars and specialty systems. Offers 10 times the anti-degradation capacity compared to traditional EVA midsoles. I don't know what this is made out of. Feels like a supercritical foam to me. But all right, is it time to get out the scale? It's time to get out the scale. All right, where's that? Oh my goodness. It rolled away. All right. Let's get this going. And then, you know what we also got to get ready? We got to get the spreadsheet ready too. All right, my spreadsheet is ready. But first, let's do the weighing. And we got this thing zeroed out. Mount to Coast R1. I mean, it says the weight on here, but we're going to weigh it ourselves. Mine comes in, this is an 8mm drop shoe. Mine comes in at 8.8 ounces. All right, time to get that other screen up. Mount to Coast R1. 8.8 ounces. And in grams, that's 250. 250 on the dot. I like that. R9. I'm going to say road for this one. To Here we go. Spreadsheet madness. Spreadsheet madness. All right. Eliza, this is my favorite part of seeing this sheet. Yeah. Steve Zabrowski says, yeah, I really feel like we can all lead calls now related to Excel. We're learning together, guys. All right. That's the R1. Let's put that away. Well, we'll leave that out. And then we'll get out the S1 now. All right. Now this is the trainer that goes along with the R1. It's giving really strong tennis shoe vibes from the bottom. Like not tennis shoe as a euphemism for sports shoes, but like shoes used to play tennis. I don't know why. It just really feels like it. The foam feels denser. There's a plastic clip in here. I don't know if you could see that. Yeah, see that plastic clip along the heel? Got a pull tab. The other one did not have a pull tab. And it has one set of laces up top. All right. Still has zero sag material, but this feels denser. It feels like this just feels more like regular EVA. Still kind of super critical-y, but I don't know. Let's make sure we're on ounces. Matt Legrand's here. He says, yo, what's going on? What's going on, Matt? Matt did an entire, speaking of Texas, because we were talking about Texas, Matt did an entire Apple Vision Pro review with a Texan accent. In case you guys didn't see that. All right. My mount to coast. S1 comes in at 9.9 ounces and 282 grams. Whoops. 9 road. All right. Uh-oh. I got an extra space in here. That's going to screw everything up. All right. R1 and S1. Oh, wait. Oh, man. I did all that and you guys couldn't even see. So we got R1 and S1 over here. Where is it? There we go. And last episode, we froze the top columns. So now you always know what all the columns are. So that's useful. Now let's figure out where do these go. All right. 8.8 ounces. It comes right above the Solomon Index 001. There we go. And then there's 9.9. This is a heavy guy. It's the heaviest road shoe we've seen yet since we started doing this spreadsheet. But there we go. There's a spreadsheet right there. Look at that. See, now one fellow says S1 is for strolling. And Frank says that S1 doesn't seem like it's supposed to be speedier one then. I don't know why, I don't know what the S stands for, but the R, I thought the R was going to stand for racing. So I was going to do the R1 second. But I'm glad I did it the way I did. Ooh, this smells like paint. Very breathable though. Less breathable on the R1. Still kind of, this smells like a racquetball. Definitely smells like a racquetball for the R1. The S1, more just like a paint, like a spray paint. Oh, look, there's a little Easter egg in here. There isn't one on the other one. It's blue. I don't think it's ortholite. It doesn't say it's ortholite on it, but it is blue. But it does say, oh, let me make this bigger for you guys. It does say, when I run, I am just running. So there you go. All right. So that's that. It looks like the tongue is gusseted for, wait. No, it does say it on both. So it says it on both. It's on the R1 and this one. It looks like the tongue is gusseted for the S1, not gusseted for the R1. Definitely has, this shoe is, someone said it looked like a golf shoe. Yeah, it looks like a golf shoe. I think it does look like a golf shoe. But yeah, this makes me nervous. This harder piece of rubber that's intended to be motion control. That's the kind of stuff that makes me scared. I feel like it's going to hurt me, but I don't know. I feel like the S1 needed to have this little flare on it too. It's like the Mount to Coast logo. There's no, there is a Mount to Coast logo on the back of the R1. But yeah, I think though that this side of the R1, the lateral side, the inside of it, looks really nice. I like that. Let me get some focus on here. Focus. See, this part of the shoe looks real nice. This part of the shoe, I think because of this right here, the way that black part is on the right side of the outside of the arch, just makes it feel a little, doesn't look great. Underwhelming. But the inner part of it looks fantastic. But we'll have to see. We'll just see. I'll get for some longer runs. We'll get it up there. Super interesting. I think you're getting the names mixed up. Isn't the one with two laces the R1? Am I getting the names mixed up? The two laces is the R1. I think I've been saying it that way. This is the S1. No. Whoops. C-Town fan says, are these mountain to coast? No, they are mount to coast. Mount to coast. And Calvin says, it's not a bad looking shoe, just kind of ordinary. What shoe is that? It's shoe. Yeah. It is a little bit of a sleeper, I don't know how I feel about this dual lacing system. It seems like a lot. They must have had to have gotten really short laces for this, though. Like, are these kids' laces? Because they're only for like 3 loops, It's interesting to source it. But these tongues are a little padded. That kind of feels nice. I don't hate it. I usually don't like padded tongues. Very stiff heel cups for both of these shoes. Really strong. And Calvin says, like, the dual laces seem like a cheaper alternative to the BOA dial enclosures. Yeah, but then why didn't they do speed laces double? Or whatever these are. These little bungee things, I think they're called speed laces, right? I feel like they should have done that twice. I don't know. C-Town fan says, Mountain to Coast is a better name. I wonder if it was just too many syllables or if that's already trademarked somewhere. I don't know. And Frank wants to know, what are you thinking about the rabbit shoe? The carbon bits are really close to the ground. Yeah, so I think that I've never seen carbon really used that way. Adidas has done a lot of stuff that's very similar to that, and it's part of their like torsion control. And so I don't feel like it's going to make the shoe snappy. I feel like it's going to keep the shoe from twisting around too much. Like, I don't know if this shoe doesn't twist very much either. This shoe twists a little bit more, but like, so as it's landing on the ground, so it doesn't twist so much, I think that's more what it's going to do. But I'm concerned that it looks to be a little bit heavy. I think the upper is going to be very comfortable. But until I get it on my feet, I'm not sure what to think about it. It kind of looks a little bit like an Under Armour shoe. Do you remember I had a pair, Under Armour Hover CGR Mid. It was one of my favorite. It's my favorite Under Armour shoe for sure. But I really enjoyed that shoe. It was a little bit on the firm side. It was an all EVA shoe, but it was a mid top, and it had like a kind of chunky knit upper, just like the rabbit shoe. And so I'm hoping it feels kind of like that. If it's an updated version of that shoe, I think that'll actually be really good. C-Town fan says, are they targeting the Ragnar market with this? I think that they are targeting, so like, I'm not sure. I don't know about this company all that much, and I generally don't really review early shoes. I'd say like Atreyu is like the only company that I've really reviewed. I guess I reviewed Enda shoes for a while too, but like I usually don't really review shoes from brands that are like brand new. So I'm not very familiar with kind of like where this brand really is. But I'm thinking like the whole concept with like designing this for ultra runners can do one of two things. One, some of you notice it's like the ultra road scene is very, very small. So like that's a very strange market to kind of target. But if you're saying it's like an ultra road shoe and saying it's great for those of you who are racing for 5 to 7 or 8 hours on the road, that's a lot of a much nicer way than Solomon did it, of saying like this could be a great marathon racer for those people who like pinnacle race product might be too aggressive for them, right? So I feel like that could be one way of kind of backdooring into that same market, the same demographic that Solomon was trying to reach with this S-Lab Spectre. I don't get the sense that with what they're doing, that they're not really in. I think that the people that made this are just really into long distance road running and are maybe not necessarily using it as a pinnacle race shoe, but like thinking of it like a racing shoe in terms of putting race level product in it, but making it for something you can run for hours and hours and hours at a time. So that's kind of some initial thoughts on like the brand concept overall. But I think once I get to put them on, that'll tell me a lot more, you know. Brian says, on the flip side, it's very hard to compete on a marathon road shoe. You need to compete against the big names. That's true. So if they were coming out and saying like, yeah, we're making a marathon racer, you have to be as bold as Tier to be able to do something like that, you know. So that's another one they're not a new company though. They've been around for a long time. They're new into the racing shoe market though. Mika says, I think that 90% of the people use Cliftons in road ultras that I run. So a niche market that Hoka already pretty much owns. Yeah. So if there were like an elevated Clifton, what would that look like? Wouldn't it just be this? It's not this. The Cielo X1 could be it. I like the Cielo as a marathon racer, though. I don't think it can be a road one. Hoka was very surprised when I asked them about does the Cielo X1 take over from the Carbon X? And they were like, oh wait, well we're not updating the Carbon X this year. We didn't think about whether this kills the Carbon X. And I was like, you didn't? Called it Cielo X. And so I wasn't sure because it's just so curved. Like the Carbon X has always been a very curved shoe. So I don't think the Carbon X is going away, but we're not getting another one soon. So I think that is the answer for if you want to race in a Clift, something that kind of feels like a Clifton, but the Carbon X has never felt like a Clifton. Maybe that's what this will feel like. Interesting. And Super just says, I feel like the Super Blast should be a top tier road ultra shoe. I would definitely agree with that. And Frank says, it makes sense to make shoes for feet that swell for slower marathoners that are going to be on their feet for 5+ hours. I agree. That's a long amount of time to be on feet, you know. Axel Molly Percocets says, I'm assuming that's the name of the cat. Axel Molly's Percocets. And when the cat's in trouble, Axel Molly Percocets, you know what you did. Come over here, you know. Anyway, what are the most comfortable Max Ultra cushion shoes you own and breathable? I mean, More version 4 is always up there for me. That shoe is not the most breathable. On Cloud Eclipse is a great one. I feel like that shoe is very breathable. What else is there? The Nimbus 25 I thought was more Max Cushion Ultra. Or Max Ultra Cushion. I'm thinking you mean Ultra Cushion in terms of just very, very, instead of it meaning like ultra marathon distance. So like very, very cushion. I like the Nimbus 25. So those are some good ones. I'd say the most breathable of those is probably the On Cloud Eclipse. And And Pete G says, "Hi, Cole. I love the hoodie. I want one." Rabbit sent this to me before we did the meet and greet last year for New York. There is a Boston one coming, or they'll have it in Boston. So if you're going to be in Boston, Pete, you can get a Boston one. I don't know if they still sell this Chicago one. I'm not sure. And AJ wants to know, would you switch shoes doing a road double marathon, like in San Francisco, considering it? Does San Francisco have a double marathon? For a double marathon, would I switch shoes? Maybe. I don't know. Would 52 miles? That's a lot. I probably would stop at some point. Yeah, I probably change shoes. I don't know if I would go up a size though. I don't know what shoe I would pick for a 52 mile for a double, like a literal double marathon, like run a marathon and then run it again. Ooh, I don't know. I'd probably pick Super Blast, and that has a pretty big forgiving upper. That'd be a fun one. Maybe I would pick On Cloud Eclipse would probably be high up on the list too. What else would I put on there? Maybe SC Trainer. I don't know. Yeah. Super Engine says, I think for 52 miles, I have to change my whole outfit at least once. I sweat a lot. I think after a while, you just stop sweating, right? Because you just run out of sweat, you know? SP says, hey, Cole, will the Mach 6 be good for everyday running, 30 to 40 miles per week? I think it'll be a great choice. All right. Leona Monk says, I just saw the new Tracksmith downpour jacket online. $400 makes it really pricey. I just saw some of the ads for that. It looked really nice. Maybe it's just because I had just come in from a snowstorm. And I was like, oh, that looked protective. $400 is a lot to pay for a jacket. You can get Gorewear jackets for that much. But the Gorewear jackets don't come with the Tracksmith little taggy on the bottom. Or they've got it like in the back, in the flap, you know? It does look nice, though. I'm assuming it's waterproof. Is this called the downpour jacket? It better be waterproof. It looked really nice, though. 400 seems like a lot, but what is their no days off jacket? It costs like $285, something like that. Yeah, $400 seems like a little out there, but I don't know. I feel like waterproof jackets have gotten really expensive lately, or at least the ones that I'm looking at. And Mika says, I switched from Carbon X2s to the Clifton halfway in my past 2 to 3 road ultras or ultra length training runs when the foam goes too bad for the carbon plate. Interesting. So like one of the things that they were talking about in this shoe, the Mount to Coast, to bring it back to this one, is that foam degradation thing. What do they call it? This is really nice. This is very detailed. It's a lot of information, but it's a good sheet. Anti-degradation performance. So the shoe is supposed to keep its squish and response properties for longer. That's pretty important. And that is a real thing. When I interviewed Dakota Lindworm, that's what she talked about in the Deviate Nitro Elite 3s. She said that foam and the same foam that's in the Fast R tube is supposed to not degrade over the course of the run. It's also supposed to last really long time too in terms of mileage. But then I just saw, and I'll ask her. Amelia Benton has been talking a lot about the Fast R2s lately. She really likes them. I think she got to test them the same day I got to test them in Austin. I think she was there. And she said she ran in those and she ran them into the ground. And so she needed another pair. So she's on her second pair. But I thought that they told me that shoe was supposed to last 300 miles. So I wonder how many miles she put on hers before she needed another pair. I don't know. Alan says, like, if you stop sweating, that's a bad sign. It's the worst sign, he says. Like, if you're doing a big long race. And Alan says, it means you're really close to dehydration, or it's even too late. Oh, I've stopped sweating in many marathons. There's some marathons and they haven't gone well. But there's some marathons when I'm done, I'm just dry. And it's usually because I've hit the wall, walked a lot, and then I just got no more sweat left to give, you know? AJ says that Salomon just put out a new trail jacket, 20K, 20K Pertex. That looks nice. I don't know what any of that means. Rain jackets are not my specialty. Rain is my kryptonite. As much as I like water, I don't like rain. Especially like these runs right now that I'm doing. I really was hoping that by the time I got back from Jamaica, that like winter would be over and it'd be springy, and it's not. Because it's been like like just above freezing and raining or snowing for like every day. All the ground here is just super soaked. Everything is waterlogged, and every time I go outside, it's just the air is that damp cold, and the rain that hits you just soaks straight through to the bone. So maybe I should learn more about some of these waterproof numbers. Oh boy, because maybe that would help. Maybe I wouldn't be so chilly all the time. And Steve Blackadar says, though, the NDO jacket has aged so well for me that I balk less at an expensive waterproof jacket than I once would have. Yeah, but what is it? It's not Gore-Tex, but there's that other material that it's a spray-on additive to the material. You don't spray it on yourself, but it's like applied to the material. And if it only has so many washes in it or something like that, like if you wash it too many times, it'll work less. I forget what that's called. But I feel like waterproofness, though, is important, but it fades over time, right? Although I guess like jackets get less and less warm over time too. Like my mittens that I run in, they're super warm when I first get them, and then by like the end of a winter of running in them, they're like the foam gets all matted down or something. I don't know. But yeah, for me, my No Days Off jacket has aged kind of well, but it has a giant reflective sash along the back. And I put it through the dryer a couple of times, and it did not like that. So don't put your No Days Off stuff through the dryer. But otherwise, it will last a really long time. DWR. Is that what's called, DWR? I feel like that's the material I'm talking about. It's like a spray-on something. But AJ says that the spray does nothing if the fabric isn't built for it. Okay. Oh, Zachary Hymas says a lot of quality jackets have DWR coating that get reactivated after a wash. Oh, they get reactivated? Okay. They don't. Okay. I had it all mixed up. And Raj Kumar says, Kapuzi, thanks to you, I got a SOAR jacket for winter and rain. I also got the Deviate Nitro Elite 2 as one shoes for summer travel and running. There you go. There you go. Hope you enjoy. The SOAR jackets are also a little bit pricey too. None of the SOAR stuff is cheap. I think I accidentally signed up for their newsletter again, so I've been getting emails from them all the time. And like they put out like a long sleeve. The long sleeve's like $115. I was like, whoa, that's a lot for a long sleeve. Super just getting reactivated. Is that like epigenetics of jackets? I don't know. I'm not sure how it works. I really don't understand the whole concept of. I think Thomas was talking about on a live stream one time how you're supposed to put it in the dryer or something, and you put it in the dryer and that reactivates it, the waterproofness. I'm not sure. I don't know. Devin Patterson says, I think they just start working better again after washing off dirt and oils. Oh, okay. Is that it? Interesting. All right. Okay. I think that's going to be a good place to leave it for today, guys. Tomorrow, there will be no video. Tomorrow's Friday, though. We're going to start looking at that Boston Marathon weather forecast. That doesn't matter for me. I'm not racing it, but selfishly, well, I'm not going to be selfish about it. I'm hoping it's 40 degrees and windless or a tailwind, for all you guys. But, for spectators, if it's like a 70-degree day, pretty nice for spectators. But we'll see what Boston has in store for us starting tomorrow so we can unnecessarily freak out about weather. In the meantime, be safe out there, buddy. Thanks.